I'm going to always pledge to you that I'm going to tell you what I think is important, and I'm not ever going to drop this down or dumb this down to deal with certain elements of the crowd. I will never do that. That's one of the biggest problems. I want to talk to you about that right away. Complexity is something which is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's wonderful. And you're smart, and you can handle that. And if we keep dumbing down our society by catering to the most stupid, the most base, the most uneducated, the most simple, the most juvenescent and puerile and idiotic and profane, if this is what we do, we're doomed. We're doomed as a people, doomed as a society. It's that simple. There's so much going on right now, and we need the smartest and the brightest, and we need the most lucid and the most educated and the most curious. And what I'm seeing right now, that's not the way it is. It is so low, so base. FTX is the issue. It is the biggest issue right now, which if you scratch it and just go a little bit deeper, you're going to find out levels of corruption and the like you could never even imagine. And there's no one who's even remotely interested in doing it. They're talking about it in general. They will focus on the fact that this SBF is a vegan. They love that. Well, he's a vegan, so he's weird, and he uses one of those spinning toys, and he sleeps in a beanbag chair. That's all they care about. They're missing the point. This is where they're focused. Oh, he's a vegan, and they're making it sound quirky, and you're missing the point. Did they talk about Bernie Madoff? Bernie Madoff was a cigar smoking, golf playing. No, they didn't do that because Bernie Madoff was serious. But they're minimizing the effect of this by already telling you that he's just kind of a goofy, weird, one of these moondog kids. You see what he's doing? And also, look at his weird, elfin, strange girlfriend who's a polycule. And look how weird she is. And hey, let's look at her. Let's laugh at her and her voice and her face and her. Let's just do our usual thing and reduce it into slamming what they look like and what their particular behavior is, and not what they're doing. Let's stop, as we saw the other night, I couldn't believe this, and bring on Dave Portnoy. Let's bring him on. Why? Let's say bringing on Mason Reese if you want to talk about supersymmetry. Ask your parents. Why are you doing that? Because it's low rent. He's popular. He rates pizza, and and plus I kind of want to hang with him, which is another story. What's going on here? We need people to say no. Let's explain this. But it's nowhere to be found. No, it's not interesting. They're going to focus on the fact that he's a vegan and he had weird hair. And they're going to throw in the Nancy Pelosi thing, and you're going to take this wonderfully important issue and reduce it to nothing. Why? Because we are more and more stupid. We are catering to stupid people. We are funding stupid people. We are promoting stupid people. We are celebrating. We are basically dumbing everything down so that the stupid people can enjoy this. We don't want to make it complicated. It's not even complicated, but it's wonderful. In 1905, at the time of relativity, and certainly when Einstein came to this country, he was the most famous, one of the most famous people in the world. Not just because of his hair. He was a physicist. Today we have, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson talking with Joe Rogan about pyramids. It's good. I mean, it's better than nothing, right? Bill Nye the Science Guy. That's who we are today. You see what's going on with this? So last night, I happened to watch this morning, and I'm going to have to take a break from this because the only thing I ever watched, even remotely involving Fox News, just to find out, say, what's kind of happening in that world. First of all, they're giving patriotism awards like it's just like it's a joke. Hey, look at me! I've got a red, white, and blue jacket. I'm patriotic. Okay, fine. All right, I can't argue with that. They do that sometimes with country music. But now we're doing something in which, and this is it. It's like, okay, that's enough. But Adam Carolla, speaking on behalf of the comedy world, let me explain this to you. Let me go back a little bit in time. And why, again, we're missing the point so horribly. I don't even know where to start. But I'm going to do it because you're smart and you can handle this. But first, I'm going to talk about 3 things. Number 1. Actually, 4. Number 1, you've got to like this video. You must subscribe to the channel. And you must hit that little bell so you're notified of new videos and new shows and the like. It's just critical. Critical. Okay? You have to do this. We ask you to constantly like this. I'm sorry to be so blatant, but there is no Elon Musk for YouTube. We're on our own. We are in the weeds here, and we need your help. That's number 1. Number 2, January 14th, Cutting Room. Speaking of comedy, it's not even comedy. And I'll talk about that. I don't even want to. I hate that. Critical analysis, entertainment, whatever, immersion, participation. I don't know what you want to do. Tickets are available right now. Just go to this section. There it is. You go to my Twitter account at Lionel Media. Right there, I pin it. You can go right now to this description section. Get the tickets now. I'm telling you. It's a beautiful place. It's a wonderful venue. It's the premier place in New York. However, space gets whatever. And it's January. So you're going to say, well, I'll wait. No, now. Plan. And another thing, you're going to love this one. I'm looking at Twitter this morning. I still can't figure out what is Elon Musk even doing with that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Lo and behold, I see this tweet, this very smart tweet from Tim Robbins. Oh my God. And Tim Robbins is lamenting the fact, talking about the fact of this, the encroachment of globalism. World Economic Forum, World Health Organization, because you know what's coming up, right? You know vaccine passports. They're not good. You think they've gone away. No. So anyway, so as he's talking, and as he's speaking, and as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, good for you. Because he's talking about globalism. And he's talking about the World Health Organization. And he's talking about, again, the guy who is the most fascinating to me is right now 2 concomitant issues. And you're smart enough to understand this. World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab and ESG scaling and ratings. Also, they're winding down Ukraine and Russia. That's wrapping up. And that gets dangerous because you got to, it's not that peace is dangerous, but what are they going to do? Because they have to draw out the last, extort the last dollar from us out of them. But one of the things that happened then, which they've been talking about in connection with ESG ratings, is food. And for some reason, I don't know how this happened, for some particular reason, that has been left altogether out of the equation. Food. Remember the big 3 in life. Food, water, energy. Talked about energy in this capitulation to MSB, or MBS rather, which is just. We'll get to that in a moment. Water, we'll talk about with hydro-imperialism. We've talked about that. I've been talking about that forever. But food. And one of these things which people do not understand is that there is going to be a food shortage. And once it starts, once there is a hiccup in the supply chain, it stops. Then stores start to close. Then people freak out. Then people, I don't want to say it, but they act up. We're the only country in the world that gets upset and want to kill each other at Christmas when we want to buy a flat screen TV and we have the money to do it. And we want to kill each other. I don't understand that. Wait until one food supply venue closes. Wait until there's a run on bread, on wheat, on anything. Watch what happens when stores start to close, when people start moving in, when all of a sudden you start seeing it in the news, when there's panic. What are you going to do? You're going to wait for a while. You're going to think, no, that can't happen to us. That is the most ridiculous thing in the world. Now is the time to act. And my Patriot Supply is standing by, ready for you right now. And if you go to preparewithlionel.com, look what this is. A 3-month emergency food supply kit. You know, this is far more storable, compactable. It's very easy to, very beautifully, modularly stacked. 2,000 calories a day, 21 varieties, up to a 25-year shelf life. Breakfast, lunch, dinners, drinks, snacks. Resealable, heavy-duty, 4-layer pouches with oxygen absorbers. It weighs 120 pounds. 6 of these rugged, water-resistant buckets. This is like nothing you can get anywhere. There is no... You can't do this with a fishing pole, some canned tomatoes, and some banana chips that you did in your dehydrator. God love you. I love you to death. You're like a brother to me, seriously. But stop. Go to preparewithlionel.com. This is serious. Do it now while you can. You have no idea how many people say, got it. They don't need an invitation. Got it. I see where this one's going. We went crazy over toilet paper for a reason I don't understand. COVID. It wasn't even a GI thing. What are you talking about? Toilet paper. Couldn't find it. Hand sanitizer. Couldn't find it. You know what it's like when you can't find food? Preparewithlionel.com. You're smart. You know what to do. Do it now. You know what I'm saying is true. I'm not exaggerating. And if you spend 30 seconds doing the most perfunctory of research, you'll see what I'm talking about. Preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. Since the beginning of time, every organization, every country, I should say, has been wanting to shut its problem folks down. Since the beginning of time. Oscar Wilde, Will Rogers, keep going. They act like, I don't want to pick on it, but I can't believe the base certitude of the Adam Carollas or Jon Stewarts. Who are these people? And Jerry Seinfeld, well, you see, we're the comedians, and you see, you're anti-Semitic. You see, Chappelle. Let me explain something to you. And I'm going to try with this premise. So what? I'm extreme in this aspect. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. Let me try this again. So what? Kanye West said, okay. What? Kanye West is a jadrul. What am I supposed to do? I cannot believe the amount of time that has been associated between Chappelle, the genius, about Kanye and Kyrie or whoever these people are. So what? Okay, he said it. All right. You act like it's the end of the world. The end of the world is coming. And we're talking about Kanye West, but that's not done. We're not done yet. Then you have Jon Stewart, who's going to come and say, you see, the elder statesman, Jewish, he can speak about this. I guess Jerry Seinfeld, I guess. And I don't, and then we're talking about, well, there apparently was, from time to time, there are these comedy events that are, I guess, people are You have Antifa threaten somebody, and you have somebody in New Jersey where the police chief or the mayor capitulated and whatever. Okay, so are the citizens doing anything about this? No. No. Is that wrong? Yes. Where have you been? But we're going to stop and we're going to bring in these comedic geniuses. But here's the part that gets me, probably more than anything else. There are these self-appointed, the blue chip. Again, I can't take the Adam Carollas or whoever, just who say, you don't understand something. You see, the reason why we can do this is because we're good. No. Dave Chappelle is the chosen one. Dave Chappelle, for reasons that and I'm going to explain this to you, and you know this, it's Dave Chappelle. It's not that he's good, it's that he gets away with it. Certain people get away with it. Kathy Griffin didn't get away with it. I don't understand. I never understood. What did Kathy Griffin do? She did the head thing, whatever. It was, I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, nothing. The stuff that gets me is what's going on right now in the world. What's going on with children? What's going on with war? This pretense of a war regarding Russia and Europe. My concern, that's obscene to me. Not this. But no, Dave Chappelle is not doing this because he's so good and he's so talented and he's been doing it for so long. No, absolutely not. There are people right now who've been doing stand-up longer than he has, but they're not chosen. Certain people can say certain things. Let me also explain something to you. This is the most important thing in the world. Let me see if I can explain. It's very important. We'll get to other things that matter, but this is really critical. And I learned this from professional wrestling and my dear friend Gordon Soley. Everything is a work. Throw in Bobby the Brain Heenan. It's a work. Lorne Michaels has a show that's dying called Saturday Night Live. At one point, it was so important and so critical. It changed. It really was important. It gave people an excuse to stay home on Saturday night. It's true. That show is so dead right now. It is so bad. It is so bad. When Colin Jokes and Yost and Michael Che, they're low tier base. This is it. Some of the stuff, though, don't get me wrong, not all of it. There was some stuff that was very well written. I would hope so. But the point of the matter is that there are these people, and I can't say it enough. There are these people who are there and who represent, I guess, this last vestige of a time that is now gone. So they make a deal. Okay, let's bring on Chappelle. Why? Because they're going to protest. Good. Netflix protest. Good. It's a work. Build up. It's called Bringing the Heat. Bringing heat. You go into a territory. I'm going to go after you. I'm going to tell you, now listen to me. Listen to me, Dusty Rhodes. I'm going to be, it's been around forever. So people are going to be saying, wow, this Sunday, I'm going to be watching Dave Chappelle. Why? Well, something's going to happen. Got it. Dave, do something. Okay. You're going to talk about Kanye? Yes. And by the way, here's the story. You're going to slip this in on us so that we don't know it. You're going to slip this in. So the story is, you're going to go up there and say the stuff that nobody cleared. And nobody talked about it. Nobody okayed it. That's not what you did in rehearsal. Got it? Got it. Good. Okay. Do that. Then we talk about it Saturday Night Live for the next 2 weeks. It helps Dave, your ticket sales. And then we bring in these other, the Jon Stewarts, the Gray, the Eminence Grise, the Gray Eminence, the old timers, the Mount Rushmore of comedy, the comedians, the geniuses at a level you will never get. They're going to come in and they're going to add an academic take to it. Because you see, and we stretch it out. Meanwhile, the only guy not benefiting, but he will, is Kanye. Ultimately, he's going to, this is going to go work all the way around again. So they continue to do this. And we talk about it. And we talk about it methodologically. You see, humor is tragedy plus time. It's like Bobby Bittman. It's Sammy Maudlin. It's everything you've ever heard. It is so obvious what this thing is. But here's the best part. Everybody now is coming forward, and I'm trying to think. I remember my generation, when I was, a little, Mort Saul kind of came along. This guy was, he was blackballed by the Kennedys. Dick Gregory was, you want to talk about serious, before George Carlin. They were, Lenny Bruce didn't even say anything. They just started to target. This was like nothing. And before that, Oscar Wilde. Remember Queen Victoria? They said, they asked him about, they said, are you aware that he is involved in, or what do you think about that? He was involved in sodomy or I forget. And she wasn't really familiar. But whatever they said, you could tell she wasn't sure. She says, well, her line was, as long as it doesn't scare the horses. It was her famous line. This is Oscar Wilde. Go back. The notion of art, the notion of something coming along, somebody, and they didn't spend so much time talking about it. Remember the Carlin case, 7 Dirty Words. 7 Dirty Words wasn't about George Carlin. It was about Pacifica, WBAI, the local NPR kind of a, lefty. It's still on the dial. They played George Carlin, 7 Dirty Words. The FCC wanted to not go after George Carlin, but go after BAI. And the issue was, does the FCC have the right to regulate speech? The answer is, yes, they do. George Carlin was kind of like over here. It was his routine, but the routine didn't get in trouble. Got in trouble when they played it on the radio. They never really explained that. They made it sound like George Carlin put out an album, and Potter Stewart sat back and said, what do you think about this word? It didn't work like that. But even then, they didn't talk about it. Even then, as unsophisticated as we were then, you didn't have Alan King coming out and saying, well, you see, I believe that comedy is the juxtaposition of tragedy vis-a-vis the... No. But today, we are now inundated with the resident comedy academic, the expert in laughter, the one who puts it all into perspective, and they can speak. And if there's something anti-Semitic, you bring in Jerry Seinfeld or Jon Stewart, so that these grand old men of comedy can apply their own, and not so much their own Jewish perspective, but just the fact that they know what comedy is. We are wasting so much time over nothing, and we are turning more and more to these bevies, these brigades of simpletons. I've never seen anything. Dave Portnoy. Just think about this. Just think. Look at him. No. Just look at him. I don't care what it is. With all of the people, let's talk about this for a moment. This is one of the most fascinating cases right now. Do you know what's happening to his... the legal periodicals I'm reading, it's fantastic. First of all, lawyers they would love to get a piece of this. I think, is it Sullivan Cromwell? I forget who was doing the bankruptcy. So now you're going after the creme de la creme of the white collar defense, and nobody will touch him because this guy's an idiot. Because he's saying so much. He's saying put it this way. Trump has an easier time getting a lawyer than this guy does. Because he said so much. Because what we are having right now is the focus. You have somebody here who we cannot believe was allowed, this guy, to amass this much in any system. Regulated, unregulated, $27-30 billion personal net worth, 30 years old. Do you see where this is going? The other implications, and this is rather conspiratorial, I'll admit, the idea of maybe it's a deliberate design to destroy the whole crypto world for other particular reasons. But you could have absolutely the best analysts, thinkers, economists to explain this. But no. Got to get ratings. Bring in the guy who reviews pizza. Bring him in. That's the one. That's the guy. We don't want to know. What is it? Imagine William F. Buckley. Oh my God. And if you want to bring in, if you want to talk about black holes and the Higgs boson, bring in Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's just don't bring in Philip Corboy. Bring in Raymond Burr. Well, he played Perry Mason. We are dead, but the point is, this is where we are. Do you see what I'm saying? The anti-intellectualization of what's going on. These are some of the biggest issues there are. And the people who are charged with exposing this are bringing the most base people to the fore to dilute the importance of it by giving you the impression this really doesn't matter. Because if it did, we wouldn't have these judge rules on here. We wouldn't have them. I can't put it any other way. This is so huge. They're looking at what this SBF dude said, and they don't know where's the defense? Either he doesn't understand it, or he was set up, or something. But he's talking about, I don't have to. We were going to do this effective affluence or whatever I mean, you can't write this. This is transcendental. This transcends. It's transformative. Nothing, not Madoff, not Enron, had these characters. Bernie Madoff knew exactly what he was doing. Enron was exactly. In fact, the gentleman who's basically overseeing this investigation now, did Enron, he can't believe what he's seeing. So you're going to have Dave Portnoy come on? That's not the problem. The fact is, you would think in a real world, people would scream, wait a minute. We want somebody to explain this. Do you, even when COVID, remember Marty McCary? Is he around anymore? I don't watch, but you had people who came out who really they knew what they were talking about. You didn't have Doogie Howser come on because, he applied, I don't understand. People were very serious about this. Well, how exactly does the COVID work? And what is a spike protein? That was good, at least. Okay, people were interested. Why? Because they feared for their lives. Do you know what this means? No. You've never heard the truth about Russia and Ukraine. Never. I know that. You haven't even gotten close to that. You never hear anything about World Economic Forum. What happened with G20? What did you hear about that? Nothing. Just pictures of Biden falling asleep. Now, let's talk about the implications. How about Biden? The greatest capitulation of all time. Do you understand what happened when he basically says, yeah, I think we should grant immunity to Mohammed bin Salman over the Khashoggi thing? Oh my God. Wait a minute. What? And you know what they said? Oh, no, that wasn't Biden. That was the State Department. Wait a minute. He's the president. Well, yeah, but whatever. This is the fellow that Biden said he killed. Nobody understood it. They're saying, what are you doing? He came on and says, we're going to go on. And he released intel reports on what had happened. On what happened. Intel. He did. Going into incredible detail as to the specifics of this murder and decapitation and dismemberment. He did it. And they were saying, what are you doing? And he says, we're going to stop this ruthless. And nobody could figure this out. Now he said, you know what? Change our mind. After all, immunity. This is the biggest story there is. Why don't you have on, let's see. Why don't you have on, let's see, who would be inappropriate for that? Oh, how about Sarah Silverman? She could talk about it. I don't know, somebody, you know who she is, somebody equally as irrelevant. Maybe we can do that. Maybe somebody, maybe, I mean, this is, it is so fascinating what's happening right now. It is so fascinating. But there's no respect for you because either they feel like either you aren't going to understand it, or maybe the people who are running the show, maybe the people who are the producers of these shows are themselves morons. Maybe that's it. Maybe they don't understand it. Maybe this is so. Have you heard anybody discuss anything even remotely rational regarding Elon Musk and Twitter? What should Twitter do today? Well, he had a meeting and all these people walked out. Huh? And people are showing this incredible hatred for Twitter employees. Why do you say that? Well, I don't know. Because they're the enemy, I guess. Maybe that's it. I guess. Sort of. I guess. Maybe. This world right now, let me see if I can explain this. There's not a red wave coming. There is a tsunami coming. And everything that we were going to see before, involving biomedical martial law, passports, and the World Economic Forum, and put it this way, the world community, the globalist community, they have wanted this since day one. They are not going away. Will the United States capitulate to these people? Will we maintain our sovereignty? Will we say, excuse me, we act accordingly? You're not going to tell us. Will they do this? Tim Robbins is actually catching on to this. When Agenda 2030, Agenda 21, when Codex Alimentarius, when all these other, I don't know, maybe we can go to, maybe Maury Amsterdam. No, he's dead. That's Buddy Sorrell. I'm trying to think, what other irrelevant, maybe Carrot Top we can get to come on to talk about this? What is going to happen? Mark my words. There is going to be a meeting somewhere. It'll start off with a G20. It might be a G7. It might be this. Who knows? Maybe Klaus Schwab. And the United States will join a pact of people. And they will say that gun violence is a health scourge, a health problem, a health whatever it is. And the United States will sign on to this compact, to this treaty. And it will grant jurisdiction to this international tribunal to extend them jurisdiction to our country to be able to tell us what we can and can't do regarding guns in our country. It is coming Absolutely. Here's the best part. There are people living in your town who would say, sounds great to me. We don't need these guns. Gun violence is something that... And if the United States, if the Congress isn't going to do something about it, well, maybe we have to go elsewhere. Because we don't need these weapons. We don't need assault weapons. We don't need this. The drafters of the Constitution never had in mind, an AK-47 to hunt ducks. And they'll come up with all of these. That is happening. Guaranteed. What happens in NATO expansion when all this is done? Maybe we can get on instead for that. Let's see who. Maybe Louis C.K. could come on. That's it. He's popular. Maybe Louis can come on and talk about that. That might be a good one. That's happening. We're being dumbed down by fellow citizens, by a school system that is completely promoting incuriosity and no critical thinking. We are promoting a world that is so frightening to me. So frightening. And I haven't even hit any of this. I haven't even touched anything. And right now we're arguing about Kevin McCarthy. I don't like Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, and what? Who's going to be? Hakeem Jeffries. Okay, he's going to take over. There's Kevin McCarthy. Now we're going to be Lauren Boebert. Landslide Boebert won by 0.17%. She wanted to allow open carry in the Congress. That's insane. Now there's going to be a turn against Marjorie Taylor Greene because she likes Kevin McCarthy. Meaningless. The tsunami's coming, and we're talking about this because it's easy to understand. It's low-hanging fruit, and it involves people that we, maybe Kevin, what's his name, Nash, or get him out. Maybe Eddie Murphy can come on to talk about something. And what's so funny about this? When people come out to say, I'm going to be very serious about this. This is America's voice. They're the worst. See, it's one thing about Democrats and the like. They make no bones about it. This is exactly what we feel. This is exactly what we think. We're not putting any pretense in any airs. This is it. Do you understand? Yes. That's exactly what's going on. Let me throw another one in for you. I've been talking about this for so long. If you asked anybody right now today, whatever happened to Muammar Gaddafi? The only man whose name is spelled with a G, a K, a Q. Fantastic. Why was he killed? Who killed him? Under what authority? I don't know. That's the American answer. I don't know. But they know about Kanye West. They know about that because we have these geniuses explaining. But why do you think that was? I don't know. That was a while. Okay. What was he trying to do? Well, one thing he was trying to do was, that Libya. Let's look at our globe right here. This is, where is our friend? Here's Africa. Libya is right up at the top. Libya, by the way, put together by our friend Benito Mussolini. Libya is Tripolitania, the Fezzan, and Cyrenaica. Okay? And that's where all of these wonderful places. Anyway, make a long story short, Libya sits on top of something called the Nubian Sandstone Aquifer, one of the biggest freshwater aquifers on the planet. If you were reading then, which you weren't, but if you read elsewhere, maybe didn't hear people like, Buddy Sorrell or whoever. I'm trying to think of some comedian like me. Muammar Gaddafi said he announced that he was going to have He was going to make Libya arable. He was going to pump about $25 billion into pumping this. Now, this particular area in Africa, I don't have to tell you this. If you look at Iraq, Tigris and the Euphrates, the Fertile Crescent, water has been, it's gold. In Indonesia, they will kill you for a well. The Golan Heights, what was so important about Golan Heights? Water. Water, 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 water. People have this idea that desalinization, that you can somehow, well, you can just go to the we'll just go to the ocean and pump that and clean it up and take the, what we do it in submarines. Yeah. They think that comparing a submarine, freshwater, you can do this for the world. The moment this happens, and it's happening now, because we're seeing it with Nestle, we're seeing it with Paraguay, we're seeing it with even the Bush family, it's so huge. We're not even thinking about this. We're not even talking about this. Nobody's even nobody. I still want to talk about NATO expansion. Where do you want to go with this? What's going to happen to NATO when there's a ceasefire or whatever happens? What's going to happen with NATO? What's going to happen? Do you think they're going to go away? You think Victoria Nuland's going to say, okay, that's enough. We made our point. No, of course not. No, you're talking about Louis C.K. You're talking about, whatever this stuff is. And I don't know where to go. I talk about food. And you're thinking, well, you're just saying that. No, I'm not saying this. This is something that is going to happen. And you see, I spend so much time looking at, put it this way, so many of the articles that I read, Twitter won't allow me. They'll say, nope. Twitter, even with Elon Musk, nope. Why is that, do you think? Why wouldn't Twitter let me just put up an article and let you read it and say, well, you're smart. You know what's going on. Now, let's talk about something else. Our good friend at MyPillow. Come on. I love these people. What a great product. Mike Lindell. MyPillow.com. Use promo code Lionel. The deals. Save up to 90% on an overstock sale. Have you done this? If you go to mypromo.com/Lionel, look at this. 30%, 50%, 50% here. I'm just giving you the 30%, 50%, 40%, 30%. Everything slashed. Every conceivable aspect of sleeping you can imagine, from blankets to quilts to pillows to covers, everything, especially now that it's cold, this is it. MyPillow.com. Promo code Lionel. I'm telling you right now, we are a MyPillow family. We've got everything. Everything. And to be able to support somebody who get a great product, but somebody who has done so much for free speech, does it get any better than that? So go to mypromo.com, promo code Lionel. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. And if you're one of these great folks who says, you know what, I need a phone number, no problem. 800-645-4965. 800-645-4965. That is the number. Another item. Did you hear how they're going after Trump? Again, a special prosecutor. Again, against Trump. Again. Who's asking for this? Who is demanding this? Who wants this? Again. Any idea of the BLM? BLM audits? Nope. Did you see this one? These were good. You're going to love this one. Where was this great one about Al Sharpton? New York Post. 1 million. Look at this here in New York. We got a shootout in New York City. Where is this? Reverend Al Sharpton gets a giant raise and his charity spends $1 million on jets and limos. Reverend Al Sharpton's charity nearly doubled his compensation and also shelled out close to $300,000 for private jets so that he and other bigwigs could attend important gatherings. The National Action Network said paid Sharpton $348,174 in 2021 as its president and CEO. They gave him a hefty bonus of $278,503 plus $22,000 worth of benefits for a total compensation of $648,794. I mean, this is just absolutely God bless you. Anybody who can work the system forever. You know who the best one? Remember when Mike Bloomberg was mayor of New York City? You know what he did? You remember how you never heard Al Sharpton one time? You know what? Paid him off. Mike Bloomberg said, I'm not going to waste my time with this. Mike Bloomberg, when he ran for president, he paid like $100,000 a vote or some ridiculous number. Al Sharpton knows how to work it better than anybody. I admire it. No, I'm not. There's one thing about the Democrats, and he's not really a Democrat. He's just he's an opportunist, but they are superb. And what are we doing? What are we? Whatever the opposite of that is. You're arguing about Kevin McCarthy. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Jim Jordan will have some kind of a, maybe we'll go after Hunter Biden. Maybe Miranda Devine will write something. Maybe Larry Kudlow can do an article. Maybe somebody will slam them. That's a big deal in our country. They were slammed. So that's where we are right now, my friends. Am I pessimistic? No, I just have no faith in any of this. None of it. I'm going to keep spreading the word, but nothing's going to happen. Nothing. Notice how Trump has been ghosted completely. Have you heard anything about Trump? Anything? By the way, I was watching something before, and I turned it off immediately, which really just you have no idea how it upsets me. I was watching something, it was called Graham's Number. There was a guy, he's from Number File. His name was it Tony Padilla, I think. Anyway, it was very interesting. Graham's Number and numbers and big numbers. And he starts slamming Trump. And I'm thinking to myself, is that the mark of the, I guess, kind of a bona fides that one shows from the left? Must you just say something always about Trump? In any event. So that's it, my friend. January 14th at the Cutting Room. If you want Adam Carolla fart jokes, sorry. I can play them, but I'm not going to do them. January 14th, you can sign up right there. I'd love to see you, where you and I get to speak. It's unlike it's not stand-up. We talk. Nobody does that. That's that. Don't forget preparewithlionel.com and mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. And don't forget, Christmas is just around the corner. Plenty of merchandise. My mug, this thing, you can't break it. If you go right now to the website, look at this. Not the website, but just right here on the YouTube channel. Just go to the front page. There it is. Information. There's the merchandise. It's right there. It's right there at the top. Just click away. And also, Mrs. L. Today she's got a great TNT show coming up at 2 o'clock, which is fantastic. Her radio is superb. She had a great show last week with Mark Siegel. Plus, she's got linswarriors.org and Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. You got to see this stuff. We're working constantly. It's frustrating sometimes because, frankly, we feel sometimes very much alone. But we knew what we were signing on to, And we're going to keep going with your help and your support and your keen verve and elan. All right, my friends, thank you so much for being with us. See you tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.